Hey guys, I have another redstone video for you today, and this time we have version 3 of the horse staircase. And if you're not familiar with the concept, basically what it is instead of retracting just the first 3 blocks, like you do for a regular player staircase, you actually retract the fourth one as well, and that way you're able to fit a horse through the opening and you won't need a separate entrance for that thing. And this concept I believe I made 3 years ago now, and the reason why I'm returning to it after all this time is because I was recording the dissection for version 2 of this thing, and I was editing the video and I realized that it actually had a pretty decent chance of being able to be made smaller. And I knew that as soon as I uploaded that video to YouTube, people would try to compact it and they would most likely succeed. So last night I actually tried to compact it again and I succeeded. It was a bit harder than I was expecting, but I managed to do it, and there's actually a couple of really cool things about this thing. So not only is it smaller, one in length, it's also faster as well, and that's usually not something you see in redstone. Usually when you compact something, after a certain point, you actually make it slower rather than making it faster, and that's because you're forced to use hopper droppers or suboptimal timings or whatever. But the cool thing about this creation is that the speed actually makes the size possible, because I actually do a couple of tick perfect things in here, I believe, that actually make it so that the rest of the timings work, and I was able to simplify some of the circuits and remove a couple entirely, so that's pretty cool. The other cool thing about this is that I was able to keep the syncness of it. So as you see, the left half and the right half are entirely synced and you don't have a bad animation. In fact, I actually think I improved on the animation from the previous one. So that's pretty nice, at least in my opinion, because a couple of the things are faster and a couple of the things are synced when they previously weren't. It's not entirely synced, of course, because these two lag behind the other ones, but it's still pretty nice in my opinion. Anyways, I think that's about all I have to say for this creation, so we can get started with the tutorial. So the parts list for this thing is actually pretty simple. It's just that we need to collect a bit of them. Sadly, there's no hoppers or droppers though, but I feel like I'm the only one who's going to be sad about that. Anyways, we can get started with the layout, I guess, and I already have that pre-made here because I'm way too lazy to do that for every single take I have to do. Anyways, every single one of these pistons is sticky pistons, so that makes things a little bit easier. And also, to make it even easier than that, the layout is entirely mirrored, so as soon as you build one half, you'll know how to build the other one. And I'm just trying to get every angle I can here so you guys can know exactly what to do on your own. And once you do that, then we can get started with the redstone. So the input is going to be 2 blocks down from there and 1 to the left. But we also need to carry it to the other side. So we need a block there and then 2 repeaters to connect to that. And then finally we can get started with the redstone. So place a, or not dust there, dust here. And that would be going into 2 repeaters. One on 3 ticks there and 1 on 1 tick. Then this repeater will be going into a block, and then we actually have to place even more pistons. And these pistons aren't really part of the layout. They're more so redstone pistons because they're actually holding a redstone block that powers other pistons. So these are redstone pistons, not layout pistons. Anyways, to power those, we need dust here, and that will be going into a torch. And we will have to fix a number of stuff later, sorry about that. But there's really not much we can do about that. So we need a torch there going into a repeater on 2 ticks. That'll power the back piston. And then we need to come back around here, have another torch going into 2 ticks as well, except that will be going into the piston when it retracts. So we need a block there and then 2 more repeaters. Then we need to power the rest of these guys, and to do that we need a dual edge. So let me just place a normal piston there. That will be holding a block and the redstone block on top of that. Then we need a sticky piston up here, and that will be going into a repeater, going into dust that powers all of these guys at once. And then we also need to power this piston there, so to do that just have a block with the dust on it and then a slab with the dust on that. And then the next thing we need to do is actually update this thing, so place a torch there and a piston there, and that'll actually clock it. So that was actually a terrible idea. So break something and then we can continue on with the redstone. I probably should have planned this better. But anyways, next thing we need to do is place a dust there and then cut it off so it doesn't connect to that one. And then we need a repeater, and that will be powering that and then we can replace that block, I guess. And that's it for one half. The other half is basically the same, except one timing is going to be different, and I'll show you what that is right now. So dust there, and instead of setting this back repeater to 3 ticks, we're actually going to leave that at 1. And the reason why we set that one to 3 ticks was to offset the delay here to keep it sync. So we don't need that on this side, otherwise we would need to increase the delay on the other side even more. But besides that, everything is the same actually. So I'm going to come around here, place dust there going into my tower, or not my tower, but my torch on a block. Not really a torch tower, just a torch by itself. And then we need a repeater on 2 ticks there going into the back piston as well. We also need to power that piston when it retracts on this side too, so 2 more repeaters and a repeater on 2 ticks there. Then we also need a dual edge on this side, so a block, redstone block, sticky piston. I'm going to be a little bit more smart about this time though, or about it this time though, and not place the updater until the very end. So dust there, blocks to power everything, and then we also need to power the piston here, so dust on the block there, dust on the slab there, and then we need dust, cut that off there, repeater, and that would be going into that top piston. And then now we can place the updater. So come back around here, place a torch there, and then a normal piston. Whoops, not fuck. Okay, I always screw something up. Anyways, we need a piston there, and try not to break that repeater, otherwise you're gonna have to replace it like I did. And that's actually it for the redstone. All we need to do is just fix like 500 things. So what do we fix first? I guess we can break these. Actually, yeah, no, yeah. So break basically everything, sorry about that. And then we need to move the pistons into their closed position, so just like that. We need to push that block there, and then we also need to have sticky pistons there, and then we can just move the floor blocks up, I guess, to their closed position as well. And that should be it. We just need to finish off placing these, and then let me try opening it. So it opens and closing, cross our fingers, and it closes as well. So that's it for this video. Didn't really go too smoothly on the tutorial, but honestly I did enough takes, so I don't really care at this point. Anyways, the dissection for the second version of this thing will still be going up later this week, even though I just made a third one that's even cooler. The second one still has a couple of deep tricks up its sleeve that I would love to share with you guys, and so stay tuned for that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, goodbye.